this. The mother of rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine was held at gunpoint during a home invasion and burglary at his Lake Worth home. It happened Sunday night in the Homeland and Christian community.
New footage from 6ix9ine's home invasion just dropped, and nothing about it looks random. The way these intruders moved has fans whispering, investigators scrambling, and the internet losing its mind. This might change everything about the case and the people involved. Stick around, because I'll be revealing the details nobody can explain yet. Shocking footage. The night unfolded with the kind of mechanical precision usually reserved for heist movies, except this wasn't cinema. This was Sunday, November 16th, 2025, in the quiet, manicured calm of Wellington, Florida. According to surveillance timestamps, 4 masked intruders forced their way into 6ix9ine's garage entrance, just as the world outside was dozing into its weekend haze. The footage that swept across every feed showed them entering in a tight formation, their movements coordinated enough to spark theories ranging from professional burglars to hyper-organized opportunists who had timed their approach with eerie confidence. Inside, the cameras caught silhouettes gliding from room to room, rifling through drawers and vehicles as if they had rehearsed the route in advance.
So yesterday, his Florida home was stormed by gunmen. It was 4 of them. They entered the home. Tekashi was not there. He was live streaming elsewhere, and they were looking for cash.
The most gut-punch moment came from the exterior angles. 6ix9ine's 60-year-old mother being escorted and held at gunpoint, her fear barely blurred by the grain of the footage. Her attempts to move or call for help appeared repeatedly interrupted, transforming the narrative from simple burglary to a family-level crisis. Deputies later said they arrived to find only the aftermath: open doors, rattled family members, a frantic dog still pacing the property, and not a single intruder left on site. What turned this clip frenzy into a full digital riot was the immediacy. TMZ pushed out the interior footage first, followed by Instagram and Twitter X sharing quick-cut edits that stitched together the intruder's entrance, the mother's confrontation, and the flashing lights from responding deputies. These visuals carried more weight than any early police statement. Viewers trusted their eyes before they trusted official language. And with that trust came a predictable internet spiral. Accusation, conspiracy, commentary, mockery, and viral exaggeration. Grainy pixels became public evidence. The family dog became an unwilling symbol. And 6ix9ine, he became the face of a crime he wasn't even present for, but still deeply entangled in. Timeline chaos. If the footage alone wasn't chaotic enough, the timeline turned the entire situation into a digital circus. While masked intruders were combing through bedrooms and rummaging inside garage vehicles, 6ix9ine was reportedly streaming live with YouTuber Jack Doherty from an entirely different location.
What's up? So I want to make this video to clear up all the fake news and rumors. So the world knows this. It's a fact. I'm on house arrest. I've been on house arrest. I think everyone in America and everyone across the world knows that I'm on house arrest. Yesterday, they allowed me to leave for work. People, I guess, saw that I was on live stream.
This split-screen reality, one feed showing jokes and banter, the other showing a home invasion, ignited social media into forensic overdrive. Users grabbed timestamps like weapons, matching moments from the live stream to shadows in the surveillance clips, trying to determine whether the intruders struck with knowledge of his physical absence or whether they simply gambled correctly. To make matters worse for the rapper's public image, Doherty's notoriety dragged additional eyes onto the stream. His ongoing controversies meant additional viewers, additional speculators, and additional accusations about whether someone lurking online might have been watching for the perfect window of opportunity. Every second of the live stream became a reference point for internet detectives who decided they could reconstruct the attack in real time, even though their conclusions shifted by the hour.
So it, obviously seems like people were watching the stream, knew what was happening, and then went to his home.
Meanwhile, the emotional core of the story remained centered on the only person physically harmed by the moment: 6ix9ine's mother, Natividad Perez Hernandez. Despite no reported physical injuries, the footage clearly showed her distress, her inability to flee, and the moments in which she appeared blocked from getting help. Deputies reported that K9 teams swept the scene shortly after the emergency call, though the intruders had already vanished. That detail added a chilling layer. The attackers weren't sloppy, weren't rushed, and weren't caught off guard by law enforcement response times. All of this created a narrative in which timing felt both coincidental and calculated. A paradox the internet couldn't resist. Was the live stream a distraction? A vulnerability? A coincidence? Or the very reason the invasion happened when it did? In the chaos of mismatched timestamps and shaky camera angles, no one could decide. And that uncertainty only amped the drama. Live stream alibi. The live stream itself mutated into its own subplot, a digital alibi wrapped in chaos. While 6ix9ine was laughing, reacting, and leaning into Doherty's antics, viewers had no idea that his mother back home was facing an armed confrontation. When the footage went public, fans began replaying the stream with new eyes, noting moments where his expression or tone seemed obliviously cheerful, an unsettling contrast once they knew what had been unfolding in real time. That mismatch created what felt like a cinematic split, entertainment on one screen, terror on the other.
6ix9ine did, specifically being cooperating. His 60-year-old mother should never be a target.
Multiple outlets highlighted that 6ix9ine had been under house arrest at the time, which meant the fact that he wasn't home carried even more weight. In hindsight, spectators framed the live stream almost like a breadcrumb trail, a digital signpost that confirmed to anyone watching that the rapper was not physically present. For those searching for motive, this was an irresistible angle, and theories exploded. Some insisted that opportunistic criminals simply monitored his high-visibility behavior. Others speculated that individuals familiar with his routine could have predicted his absence long before the cameras captured any intruder. The additional twist came from the mother's interaction with the masked suspect, visible in one of the clearer interior clips. The intruder appeared focused, rarely hesitant, and seemed to know exactly where to move. Combined with reports that the group demanded keys and searched vehicles, the idea of a targeted mission, rather than a random break-in, took center stage. Every movement became evidence to someone. Yet the sheriff's office repeatedly emphasized that this remained an active, real investigation. No suspects had been named, no arrests announced, and no official claims about motive released. But online, motives multiplied like wildfire. Some corner of the internet declared the incident a calculated hit. Another insisted that the live stream was the weak point. And a smaller but louder faction spiraled into conspiracy chatter, demanding to know whether the event had been staged at all. In a world addicted to spectacle, even a genuine home invasion struggled to escape accusations of performance. Suspect shadows. The investigation's early hours unfolded with a frustrating emptiness. No suspects named, no arrests logged, and no clear direction publicly confirmed. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office framed the case as an active home invasion robbery, but the lack of immediate leads only fueled the internet's appetite for speculation.
Tekashi 6ix9ine is no stranger to brushes with the law, both as a suspect and as a victim. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the rapper's home on Duckweed Road Sunday night just before 10 p.m. When they got there, they say several people inside the home reported that 4 armed, masked men had come inside with handguns. They also say Hernandez's mother was held physically outside while the other suspects ran inside and ransacked the home, asking for cash and car keys.
The intruders seen in the footage moved with a confidence that many found unsettling. No wasted steps, no chaotic fumbling, just deliberate searching through drawers, vehicles, and interior rooms. Their demand for car keys, according to early law enforcement recounting, added a layer of intentionality rather than random opportunism. People began whispering online that these were not amateurs stumbling into luck. They were individuals who knew exactly what they needed and how quickly they needed to escape with it. Entertainment outlets suggested a handful of motive categories without naming actual individuals. Opportunistic thieves monitoring the live stream window, disgruntled rivals aware of the rapper's legal entanglements, or even unknown figures connected to previous disputes. The press was careful though, no names, no claims, only floating possibilities. Meanwhile, investigators were conducting the decidedly unglamorous legwork behind the scenes. Surveillance cross-checks, phone ping pulls, and license plate trace attempts based on the getaway vehicle's brief cameo in the footage. Then there were the staging theories, the conspiratorial seedlings sprouting faster than actual evidence. Social media threads fixated on camera angles, claiming the cuts were too clean, or that the intruder's glances toward certain fixtures suggested foreknowledge. Local outlets pushed back, noting that deputies deployed K9 units immediately upon arrival and began a structured search of the premises, hardly the response to a prank or performance piece. Still, digital skeptics, once activated, rarely retreat. The sheriff's office didn't entertain the online noise. Their posture stayed grounded. Armed suspects entered, items were stolen, and a 60-year-old woman was confronted at gunpoint. Everything else they implied was white noise from people who preferred plot twists over facts. But the void left by the unnamed suspects invited myth-making. And myth-making is exactly where 6ix9ine's name thrives. for better or worse. Public meltdown. The aftermath online morphed into a spectacle only celebrity culture could produce. Outrage, sympathy, scapegoating, and performative analysis all blended into one sprawling digital riot. After the home invasion, 6ix9ine finally spoke publicly through his Instagram stories, releasing an emotional whirlwind that doubled as an indictment. His tone, reported across multiple outlets, blended fury and exhaustion as he addressed the attacker's actions. To him, the break-in wasn't just criminal, it was a violation of respect, a humiliation, and a pointed hit against his family at a moment when he was already legally cornered. His comments ricocheted across platforms. Fans sympathetic to him pointed to the vulnerability of his mother and the trauma she endured, criticizing anyone who tried to reduce the incident to karma or spectacle. But critics arrived in equal force, arguing that his live streaming habits, especially while under house arrest, practically painted a target on the property. Reddit threads read like disappointed Greek choruses, with users insisting that this incident was inevitable given his visibility, his public beefs, and his long history of antagonizing half the internet. Then came the added tension of timing. His sentencing loomed only days away, and this break-in arrived with an almost literary sense of unfortunate foreshadowing. Pop culture commentators speculated whether the emotional fallout might shape public perception going into his hearing, or whether authorities might treat him differently due to the heightened security risk. His public narrative, once loud, chaotic, and confidently brash, suddenly shifted into one of vulnerability. It gave fans and critics alike something they rarely saw from him. A moment where the spectacle swallowed the performer. For script purposes, the irony is rich. A rapper known for theatrical conflict found himself caught in a very real one, unable to spin his way out instantly. And the internet? It indulged in the chaos, turning every screenshot into evidence of a broader downfall. Legal backdrop. To understand why this home invasion hit with such explosive force, the broader context surrounding 6ix9ine's life in 2025 can't be ignored. His Florida mansion had already been the center of state and federal attention earlier in the year, when narcotics teams and federal agents conducted a raid that reportedly uncovered drugs and weapons. That earlier moment placed him under an ongoing legal microscope, one that shaped every subsequent move, including his house arrest restrictions. Being physically confined yet digitally omnipresent created a paradox. He was simultaneously less protected and more exposed.
Police said Tekashi's mother was physically held outside while the remaining suspects ran inside and ransacked the property, demanding cash and car keys. Cops searched Tekashi's home with a K-9 unit, but could not find the suspects, who possibly drove off in a vehicle before deputies arrived.
Prosecutors had recently pushed for jail time, reportedly suggesting 9 months behind bars over various violations, while his legal team fought to keep him under supervised release. This tension meant the invasion occurred at a moment when his legal status was fragile, his movements restricted, and his home already well documented by authorities. It wasn't just a robbery, it was a blow landing in the middle of a storm already in progress. From the security perspective, critics argued that his streaming behavior had become reckless. Broadcasting conversations, locations, and schedules made him more traceable than any tracking device. Reddit threads laid out long histories of him filming from identifiable spots, and fans who once defended his unpredictability now framed it as self-endangerment. Meanwhile, some segments of his audience insisted the intruders clearly knew he wouldn't be home, highlighting how the invasion's timing aligned almost too perfectly with the live stream. In his post-incident statements, he insinuated that the attackers had used his online presence against him, capitalizing on his visibility and the limitations imposed by house arrest. To him, this wasn't random misfortune, it was a calculated strike. And for viewers of this saga, that implication rewrote the narrative from burglary to strategic exploitation. It suggested that the crime was less about objects stolen and more about power, timing, and vulnerability in a life already packed with legal volatility. In the end, the home invasion footage didn't just expose 4 masked figures. It exposed the fragile structure of a celebrity life built on spectacle, danger, and relentless visibility. With suspects still at large and a sentencing looming, the story is far from over. Stay locked in, and consider subscribing to this channel because this meltdown is still unfolding.